Hi, everyone. Welcome to Zenful Conversations. Today we have Poets in Conversation, which is really one of my favorite gatherings because I look forward to the conversation. And I thank each one of you for being here and taking time out of your life for conversation. You can take your microphones off mute, and there's no rules, there's no format other than somebody will blurt out something and it'll take us in a direction. So who's feeling like blurting? Maybe somebody new can say hi and who they are. Or maybe we could all introduce ourselves even.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm Joanne in Colorado, somewhere in between Denver and the Rocky Mountains.
Thanks, Joanne. It's so good to see you.
Thank you.
I feel like it's so far and few, but like it feels like forever since I've seen you, but it can't be that long.
Oh, it's just last week.
Well, sometimes these weeks are long. Who wants to go next?
I'm Patty Joy. Oh, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Celeste, and I'm calling in from Houston.
Thanks for coming, Celeste.
Mm-hmm.
Patty Joy, go ahead.
I'm Patty Joy. Live in Maryville, Tennessee, at the foot of the Blue Ridge Mountains.
How about Val?
Yeah. Oh, I was just ready to unmute myself, but I'm already unmuted. I'm Val, and I live in Silver Spring, Maryland. Way too close to DC.
We're sorry.
Me too.
Oh boy, it's an ever-going huge challenge, is it not? Uh-huh, to say the least. Karen.
I'm Karen. I was from up that way in the Virginia side of that beltway, and I'm now in Florida, sunny Florida. You can too, Val.
I'm not going a step further south, sorry.
Yeah, right. T, welcome.
Hi, thanks. Yes, this is my first time. I live in Albany, New York, on the beautiful Hudson River Valley.
Yes.
Brenda.
Hello. We're saying where we're from, I guess. I'm in Fort Morgan, Colorado.
Oh.
Miss Cheryl.
All right, wasn't letting me unmute. I'm from Ontario, Canada, and my name is Cheryl.
Okay.
Welcome, everybody. Linda Meg.
I'm muted is what I am. I'm Linda Meg. I'm currently in Louisville, Kentucky.
Cool. Thank you all again so much for coming. I was thinking, because this is to me a very important space to just talk with like-minded people, and whatever happens. And I'm just like, why aren't more people coming? And I just think that, to actually take time out of our lives, these busy lives, to really have conversations is a challenge these days. So I just want everybody to recognize how cool it is that you do for yourself and for this community, because this is our third one. This is our third one. Great. This is our third one. What's going on in your worlds that you want to talk about? Anybody?
I would like to talk about our new poet laureate. We have just been given a new poet laureate, and I am not sure. And I know his poetry, and I love it. He's a second generation Chinese American, Arthur. I don't know if it's a C or Arthur Say. It's spelled S-Z-E. I just got a book of his poems and I do love them. I wonder if anybody here is familiar with him or knows his work or something about him.
Yes, because I live in Albany, I've gone to poetry workshops down in New York City. So I had the great pleasure of taking a workshop with Arthur C. The last time I heard him pronounce it, it's like C. And the topic was the lyric sequence. So he's an extremely warm and humble man, and I love his poetry. I have many of his books. When I say love, sometimes some of them are difficult to go through because he interweaves scenes of tragedy and violence with other scenes that are beautiful.
Isn't that life?
Are you familiar with him also, Karen?
I am not.
No. So in what I'm reading, I see this book is only up to 1980, his collections, poems from 4 or 5 different books up to 1980. But what I see how he writes is he uses the word I see, and then he describes what he sees around him. I saw, we noticed, and very much what I see now in the present moment, all intertwined with other stories past. But I thought it was a really good way for practicing writing a poem. I see, take a walk, and I see such and such flying, or the ant hill on the side of the road, whatever. I really liked his style.
He's very attentive. He has, he's one of these poets who, as you just said, really pays attention and quiet, but profoundly observing. Yeah.
Do you have your books handy? Do you want to read us a poem by Arthur?
Oh, thank you. That's so kind. I do have his books, but they're in the basement. So if you have the book you were talking about, feel free.
I have to go upstairs, but I will. I'll run upstairs. You guys just keep talking.
Carry on. We shall carry on. Is there anybody coming that would like a lot of times the first couple times anyway, we've had somebody that was a beginner asking for thoughts on something, but you don't have to be a beginner. Do you have anything that you would like to ask the other writers here for your thoughts on anything? Everybody's good with that? Karen, do you have any questions?
Always. But you know what she said when she said, he seems to start his poetry with I saw, I noticed. One thing that just hit me was like, it makes his work, his words, you wanna listen to it because there's credit. It gives, and we so want to read things that have a little bit of credit to them these days. It's and it's thoughtful. That's amazing. I'm going to get a book as soon as this is over today.
Sure. And I wanted to welcome Darlene to the group. She's going to turn her camera on in a few minutes, but she just wanted to let everybody know she was here. She's from Brooklyn, New York. Also, I don't know if you guys know or not, but we're doing I'm putting together a little booklet with poems of peace in it, and I'm happy to say that a good portion of you guys have submitted a poem for that. You don't have to be professional, or it doesn't have to be a piece of shiny material, as long as it's from your heart. And that's going to be offered out this month, just given freely, but it's really a good time. And I'm surprised I'm surprised at the submissions. It makes me feel so good. And I gotta say, it's the coolest experience, receiving this poem and then reading it is so powerful. And everybody, I just am always amazed at how beautiful everybody's writing is,
Mm.
you know?
Is there
Val,
a
With
theme?
this poet that we were talking about, it
the
says
theme, yeah, peace. The theme is simple.
peace.
It's just peace.
Mhm.
Because
Okay.
the whole fall series is just peace, please. And that's the whole focus of what we're going to be doing during this season is peace. Everything's going to kind of
Like
go with
that.
that.
Mhm.
I don't, it's just it, it's so important. I want to ask Val something here. Were you with Phyllis at that walk?
I was, because I live so darn close. I said, how can I let her just kind of walk by down the block and not jump out and say hello? So yeah, so I went downtown and kind of met up with them and was there for the speakers and everything. It was a really good rally. It was a really nice bunch of people. So I don't know if anyone else, well, you'd have to be kind of East Coast unless you went specifically, but I was there Friday night when they came into Silver Spring because I had speakers there too. And then Saturday. So yeah, it was pretty awesome. And that's the first time I got to meet Phyllis. So it was pretty cool.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well,
Mm.
she's amazing. Yeah. I mean, I
Right.
don't know if everybody knows, but was it a March for America?
Yeah, it was called We Are America was the
We
actual
Are
name.
America.
So it started out in Philly and they had students, young students, make kind of a mock-up of the Constitution. So they brought this, actually it was huge Constitution, and they brought the Constitution with them and they marched, I don't know for how many days, but they'd go like, 10 or 12 miles a day, pretty far. And then stay at churches or at people's homes overnight. And they brought the Constitution down to DC. And then after the rally, they visited representatives and congressmen and senators and stuff in the office buildings in DC. And they had some good speakers. Chris Van Hollen, who's a senator from Maryland, he spoke. He was really good, talking about, we've been patient for a while, and now it's time to be really, put our, pedal to the metal or whatever. But really just
Yeah.
we're not waiting anymore. It's like it's got to happen now because we've been polite for long enough.
It's freaking yesterday, man.
Oh yeah.
It's getting tough. That's half the reason we're here.
That's right.
So
Zen, I was reading a little bit about C, and the one thing they said is he's an observational poet whose work is grounded in nature and imagery. And I thought that was interesting, that over time his poems grew longer, often made up of a number of sequences that changed the perspective and tone from one section to another. His newer poems look simpler, but hopefully, he said, they're deeper. So I like that term, observational poet.
yeah, that shines through. Can you hear me? Am I on the? Oh, okay.
You're good.
Yeah, I want to say two things. The first thing is political. This recent episode with Jimmy Kimmel being fired and off TV, the public responded in such a way with 1 million cancellations of Disney and Hulu that they brought him back. And it was such a lesson in what power the public has when they stand together and act.
And it wasn't just in the US, it was up here as well.
Yeah.
Canadians were extremely annoyed over
People,
what we have no patience for what's going on, actually.
Yeah, I don't know how we're dealing with it, but I don't want to go too deep into it because it's a never-ending hole, quite frankly.
Mhm.
But
I just wanted to let you know we're
yeah,
with
I
you.
wanted to let Joanne read that poem, but Darlene, you said you got to leave. Is there anything you wanted to ask or oh, you're going to see if it's going to be political. Yeah, no. We're not staying there. It's just part of life right now. And we're talking about how to deal with it and breathe through it because it's not there, but we need to breathe through it. So Joanne, would you read that poetry, please?
Okay, it's called The Waking. Bloop Blue plums in the pewter bowl, may they wake wet in the earth, the wren singing and call the sweetest violet. But the children sleep secure in blankets. I climbed by spinning arms and legs against walls, awakened waist deep in the water well, wrestled the black bull before an audience, beat the wind without wings, paced the steeds along pampas grass. In the morning chill, I breathe moths in my cupped hands. It's a little difficult to understand what he's talking about there, but the images are beautiful.
Well, wouldn't we each have our own interpretation anyway?
Yes.
Yeah.
Here's Wang Wei, is an old Chinese poet, Wang Wei. And that's the title of the poem, Wang Wei. At my window, the rain raves about dying, and does not hear in the bamboo a zither which plucked inebriates the birds and brings closer to the heart the moon. Here's lament. Let me pick olives in the moonlight. Let me ride a pale green horse. Let me taste the autumn fires, or else let me die in a war.
Mm.
Have any of you been a poet laureate? Well, I'm surprised. It's like I'm having a conversation with people and I'm realizing, oh my God, you've been a poet laureate and you've had, 50 books. And, I'm surprised that I'm actually in conversation with, and because everybody's so down to earth in this, community. You don't know. So I'm just wondering really what it was about. But I want to give a voice to new people, new writers, and because I know that we have a lot of experience in this group. So Cheryl's rather newer, Karen's kind of newer to writing, Darlene's newer to writing. Any questions that you guys want to ask of these of these other writers, poets?
I just have a comment, not a question. The thing that struck me in that last poem was, I guess, anything that you write, it doesn't have to be even 100% factual. When he mentions, I think he said the pale green horse. And I thought, oh, that's really cool. It kind of gives a mood feeling, but it's not necessarily 100%. So that's interesting for me.
I'm sure that pale green horse is a reference to something in history, something in maybe Chinese history, but I don't know it. And we don't have to know it. It still works.
It's
Beautiful.
nice.
But it could have more depth if we knew the history of where that pale green horse came from.
Sort of like art. You can have an interpretation of it, but then when you know the artist's story, there's more you can interpret from the art.
Revelation 6:8 from the Bible talks about death riding in on a pale green horse.
There you go. Exactly.
Thank you.
And you caught that, Joanne. I didn't catch that until you said it was a reference, and then it clicked.
Yeah. So many of the beautiful images are references to historical, religious, social, cultural events. And if we know them, that's even a deeper level of understanding the poem. But if we don't, it's still a beautiful image. It still works. It still flows and makes the poem beautiful.
I think it's important that poets who have a lot of basis in historical background, that when they write a poem, there is that double level of understanding, because I didn't know about the pale. So it's like but I can still enjoy the poem. And sometimes poems seem so obscure. If you don't understand the reference, you're just kind of left floating around saying, what the heck is going on? You know, but if you're able to skillfully write it on two levels, I think it's a real gift.
Yeah.
Being a novice, being someone who's only read poetry, when you read it, such beautiful pictures come before me in my head, like that it's beautiful. I didn't know. I'm left wondering, I feel good about it. I feel okay about that, but I have such beautiful pictures from it that the imagery that comes from it is amazing. I know why he's a poet laureate.
I think it's a 2-year term, so he'll be
right.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for letting us novice in to see a little glimpse of your thought process, and thank you.
Yeah, I want to say something that one of the poets that we work with, Brenda will know exactly who I'm talking about, Julie. She said, I am the poet laureate of my home. That's what we all are. We are the poet laureates.
I love that.
So you and Brenda know each other, right?
We're in Columbine Poets of Colorado together.
And so is Rosemary, right? So you guys know Rosemary?
Yes. Exactly.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, she is wonderful. I
Oh,
have
yeah.
met her in person a number of times, taking classes with her in person and on Zoom, and she is really incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. That must have been cool in person. Well, that's neat that you guys know each other like that.
I have another question, just came to me. So when did you all realize that poetry was your writing and that was your calling? How do you?
This is for everybody.
This is for all the professionals out there.
I started writing as a little girl. And then there was a period where I stopped writing and I found some of those poems and I was really excited. And now I've been writing for about 6 years every day. So it at least I try to do it every day. Yeah.
Keep succeeding at that.
That's my soul soother, is writing. It's never hard. It's never difficult. It's just a joy.
Yeah. You are fortunate.
Yes.
Who said that?
I said
Darlene raised her hand. You could just bounce right in, Darlene.
Oh, okay. I think I was a poet all my life, but I didn't know it until I turned 60 and after I retired. And when I just joined some classes just to keep, have something to do. And I always gravitated to writing. I'm not a big reader and not a big vocabulary and all of that kind of stuff. But when I found this narrative method class that just was on Zoom, and they just said, just write whatever. Look at the picture, look at the prompt, and just write. And then they wanted me to share it. And then we went into groups, and then they said, nobody's going to say anything. Just say whatever you wrote. And the more I did it, the freer I got to just let my thoughts flow. And then I joined other things and then discovered that I had all this poetry in me. And it has been the best experience of my life. And like, I don't know, I always say wherever I go, this is what I want to do for the second half of my life. And because I love it, and I'm getting my chapbook is coming out. I have so many poems, and sometimes I'm just surprised at what even comes out. It is just this experience has just been so good with writing, and I never liked poetry ever. I used to always say, what is that? What are they saying? Why did they say that? Roses are red, violets are blue, sugar. What does that mean? And I always wanted to know the background. Yeah, and I always
true.
wanted to know the
I never
background.
understood it myself.
Yeah,
I
now,
had to understand poetry. It's like, Okay, of course, but don't you have stuff to do? You know, I mean, of course, yeah, I know, but don't,
Yeah,
we can't write poetry. But now I'm like, and it
that's
takes a
good.
while for me to turn that production bus in a direction of,
Yeah,
no, we're enjoying this time by ourselves. It's
yeah.
quite okay, and really feeling okay with it.
And
But yeah,
now I
I
get it.
thought they were different people, and well, actually, truth is, I think they are different people. But I think we finally found our people.
Yeah.
We finally
Yeah,
found our
yeah.
space. That's why. That's what's cool.
And now
That's
I
cool.
get the roses are red, violets are blue, sugar sweet, and so are you. It's a fact. It's a fact that you're sweet, right? That's what the poem is all about, being a fact. It's just
Mm.
so wonderful. But anyway, let me be quiet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Darlene, do you want to read one of your poems?
Oh my goodness. Oh, look at this. I mean, I do open mics and look at this. I have this folder here for anytime anybody asks me to read something.
Yeah, read to us.
Okay, I'll read this one that's on the top. The heart always wants to know. The heart always wants to know. The heart wants to be sure about what it feels. The heart always asks questions. What is making me beat so fast? What is making me beat so slow? Why it hurts so much? The heart can be broken and bleeding out. Even though what is happening is so clear, the heart still wants to know what is going on. Learn to let your heart ask questions. Let it be confused for a while. It's all a part of the process for your heart to understand. Learn to answer your heart with truth and reality. The one thing about the heart is that it gets it after a while. The heart will settle down and mend. And when it finally understands, when all the questions have been answered, it will become the comfort that you need.
Oh,
Mm.
wow. Really lovely.
Thank
Wow.
you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks.
The heart
Yeah,
will get
I
it
love
after a while.
I
You'll
love
get
that
it.
ending, the heart to, did you say becomes the compass?
The comfort
Oh, the
that you
comfort,
need.
the
The
comfort.
comfort that you need.
Yeah.
But I like that ending too. Right?
That too.
Another ending.
I really
That's what
liked I
Go
really
ahead.
liked let your heart ask questions. That's really gorgeous.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Brenda, jump in. I'm not manning
Okay.
anything. We're having chit chat today.
Oh, I know, but I have trouble jumping in. Okay, so but I have a very weird poetry origin story. I wrote some poems and stories when I was a kid, and I had an idea that that's something I wanted to do, but didn't really get into it until like 2008. And there was this man that I was in a very, very weird dysfunctional relationship with. And I couldn't really even have contact with him directly. We just triggered each other, I guess. But I felt responsible for him, that I just felt like if I just said just the right thing, he could become a happier person. And I just felt like that was like something I had to do. And so he was putting poems and things and interacting with people on this internet site. And that was in 2008. And I thought, well, I'll just create this whole separate personality. He won't know who I am, so he won't totally reject what I'm saying immediately. And so I started trying to kind of communicate with him in poems, but I still had this agenda in mind. I have to get this message to him. And but pretty quickly I went ahead and told him who I really was and stuff. But I still thought, wow, this is kind of fun, writing poems. And I didn't even know I remember one of the very first poems I wrote, and I wrote it on the back of an old envelope. And then I just like surprised myself. I'm like, whoa. And I was supposed to be going to work, but I went over to my friend's house, and she was a language arts teacher for middle school. And I read her what I had written on this envelope. I'm like, is that a poem? And she's like, yeah. I was like, yay. And so then I went to the library. I didn't even have a computer at home. So I went to the library and put it, published it on this online site and everything, and did quite a bit with that. And then one day, there's another important turning point. One day I'm like, I'm tired of writing to this guy and trying to get his attention and trying to get a message to him. So I'm just going to write a funny story. And so I did. And I'm like, wow, that was fun. And then the other people on the internet site were like, yeah, that's really good. And then after that, I just started writing for myself and for fun and, for other people, and gave up on trying to get any messages through to that guy.
That's interesting for sure.
Better
Well,
to heal yourself anyway than to heal somebody else. You can't heal anybody else.
I figured that out.
I
Linda
think
Meg, I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry, T, go ahead, please.
Yeah, my origin story also. I first encountered poetry when my dad used to recite Casey at the Bat from memory when I was a child. And I think something just sparked in me. So I wasn't, because of life circumstances, I wasn't able to focus on poetry until my daughter was about 7, and I was able to move from full-time to part-time work. And so that was around when I was 40. And so I had just decided that I was going to do what I love. And I'd always read poetry, and for a while I organized literary programs. So I decided I'm going full in, and I went back to graduate school, and I got very involved in my local community in Albany. The literary community is really vibrant and diverse. And so for 25 years now, I've been, a member, a contributor to that community. And it is a way for me now to meditate and to explore my consciousness and to share with others. One really rewarding aspect of poetry at this stage of my life is writing poems for other people, to thank them or to honor an experience we shared. And now I'm not really ambitious anymore to go out and get published. What I do now is I stitch my own chapbooks.
Oh,
And
Wonderful.
yeah, and my big project now is so for 25 years I've been buying and trading books of poetry with local poets, and so I decided I would formalize that and systematize it. And so I've been deliberately collecting one book by every poet in Albany that I know. And so this is my local poets library, and I hope it will be a historical archive of the literary community in Albany from the year 2000 on.
Wow, wonderful, wonderful.
You have quite a few undertakings there.
That's amazing. That is just so inspiring to collect your local poet community and preserve it for history. Amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Wow. T, I am also from New York, and I lived up near Woodstock until a few years back.
Oh, yeah, sure. I've been in Woodstock plenty of times.
Yeah, so you know the Woodstock poetry community,
Yes.
Philip and
Phil Levine,
yeah.
Will Nixon.
Oh yeah, and Sparrow.
Judith Kerman, the translator, and yeah,
You know,
Uh,
Sparrow?
who was that?
Sparrow? No. Okay.
Oh, yes, yes. I think I have something by Sparrow.
Yeah. Okay. That's amazing. I just love that idea.
Well,
Linda Meg, were you going to say something earlier?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Who
If
wants
I
to
was,
read
I
the poem?
don't remember.
It's okay. I like how you said, T, I like how you said that you, well, I'm right with you. First of all, I think all of us really, how we spend our time now is a definite, deliberate decision. You know, none of us are wasting time or energy. You know, and so, but to explore the consciousness, and it's probably why I'm drawn to it. But I got to say, I've yet to really produce anything. I'm not putting any pressure on myself either. I want this stuff to
Good.
magically unfold. So I'm like, there's that always that conversation. Well, why are you waiting so long here? But it's like, well, there's no freaking rush, okay? And there's that going on. But yeah, so I haven't applied myself though. I haven't applied myself. I know it's there because I think Mark Nepo just said the other day that I am the poem.
Yes,
We
yes.
are the
yeah.
poem. So what comes out in the writing, it'll come. It'll
Mhm.
come. It's not used to it. I don't even have a handle on good English. I don't quite know how to talk, no less write anything yet. So uh,
It's all there in you. It's all there waiting.
oh yeah,
for
I'm not even worried
blooming.
about it.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you guys supporting these spaces, because it's a neat thing, and I just love the opportunity to have conversation together and to do all these things together. And just even the workshops every Thursday we're booked through December with another a poet of some type uh to do a free workshop with us, which I think is phenomenal. Tomorrow is Maya Stein and on revision, which will be fun. And then honestly, the following week is my daughter is going to co-host with me.
Oh,
Mhm.
good.
It's her birthday, and that's what she
Oh,
wanted to
Really
do.
fun.
Oh,
So my
Yeah.
daughter will be, she's 41. She'll be 41. So like it's not
oh,
like some little cutesy tootsy here, but I could bring my poodle. No.
to you.
oh, they're
But
cute though.
yeah, no, aren't they adorable? They're
Oh,
so spoiled. It's ridiculous.
What
But
is your
yeah, just
daughter's name? What's her name?
Katie,
Katie.
Katii, Katii. And as you know, she lost her father just a year or so ago, because many of you know has been in my writings, my processing. Me losing my ex-husband was really one of the more challenging deaths that I've worked
Mm-hmm.
with. So many, because we were not on speaking terms for I haven't seen him in over 25 years, but we had a family together.
Right.
And it was just, and it's her father. And now my daughter doesn't have a father. And there was
mm.
another wife. And because we weren't on good speaking terms, I couldn't even go there to console my daughter because she had to be with the current wife. And it was like, wow, that was just so complicated, y'all. That was so complicated. But that's another reason I enjoyed being with you guys, because you let me process it.
Mm.
And there's
Mhm.
little parts, little poems sprinkled all over the place in my little
Oh, there
writing
you
book.
go.
Mhm.
And Jen,
Oh,
kind of on that subject of having things in books or you've written here and there, I've taken on a task of, especially on days when I feel less poetic, I don't feel like writing, and I start, even if I try to write a poem a day, it doesn't always happen. And so when on those days, I'll pull out an old journal, and I'm like most of us, I'm sure, tons and tons and tons of those. And I came upon a journal from 1999 that was a very difficult year for me. And I journaled practically every day. And on every other page, I found a poem that I have never typed up. I never looked at since. And I've just been amazed. It's been a real treasure for me to find that there and to take them out and to try to craft them into a poem maybe that works. Maybe some of them need a lot of crafting. But the fact that that seed was there has been such a blessing to me. So I just want to encourage you, to all of you, to take those journals that you've spent time writing in and go back and look at them sometimes when you, maybe on those days when you don't feel like writing, take a look at some of that stuff and see if it inspires you.
Yeah.
I'm chuckling a little bit because I have this book when I was first married, young mom, and the title of it is What I Really Want to Say. And in this book, I mean, I just told everybody off. Whatever it was that I felt like saying or doing in that moment, that's what I did. Like some of the pages just have like scribbly lines all over it. And I have one there, do not read. And I tell my family, my kids and my husband, do not, when I die, do not read this because you're going to be very hurt if you read. Please throw it away. It's up to you, but I'm warning you. But I'm just you saying that, I'm like, I need to go back and look and see what's really in there.
Yeah,
Maybe I could get like a good poem might be in that book. I haven't had to use it in forever, and thank God for that. But I haven't had to use that in a long time. But that just made me chuckle a little bit. Like, what could I find in that book? Even the squiggly lines might be a poem.
It could be.
Right?
I've heard a couple conversations though about people, poets, writers going back and kind of cleaning up their trail a little bit, so to make sure they don't leave something behind, that
Actually, I am
might not
doing
be a
that.
bad idea.
Good idea.
I know,
It
right?
might be, it might be a decent idea just to take a
No
look at,
way.
because we've changed.
There's no way I want my son to go through my journals. No way.
Oh Lord.
I remember
Tonight.
I wrote in a journal when I was 17. I put, I really think the most interesting part of my life is over. And so I thought about that, like, whoa, boy, was I wrong.
That's hilarious.
I love that.
I appreciate that that comment about the reviewing your old journals.
Yes.
For myself as a poet, I have a poetry blog that I've had for several years, but I'm not very ambitious. I just put out one a month. But I do write fiction. I have a novel that I've published and another one that I'm working on. But it's important to me in my novels to mine my own history and my own interior life and the healing that I've had from what I've gone through. And so that it ends up being very personal, even though it's fictionalized. And so I'm working on the next one where the main character will be 40 years old. And I'm thinking now, okay, that's a good idea. I should go back to my journals when I was 40 and see what was going on in my life then. And what it really relive what it felt like, and make sure that I'm true to that as I write this.
Good idea.
That is cool. That is cool. And you've got them organized like that? Your journals?
Yeah. I have them I have the date range on the cover, so I can find.
Wow, that's cool. I'm not that organized with them.
Yeah, me
They're
either.
stacked. I could find it, but it's not labeled. Not labeled and stacked, just stacked. I know where they're stacked, so that's pretty cool.
That's a start.
Oh goodness. What else is on your mind? Let's see, who didn't we hear? Valerie, we haven't heard enough from you. What's going on in your world these
I
days?
was, I was just sitting here thinking, I'm pretty quiet, so it's like, well, sometimes I say, why join a conversation group when you're probably not going to say anything, but yeah, I've been having trouble writing lately. I mean, I have a gazillion journals. I write every day in my journal and I start poems and they're just trash as far as I'm concerned. And I just, move on. So I'm having a little trouble with, and I don't know if it's because of the political scene and all that other stuff energetically, if that's what's going on, but, I just, nothing seems, none of the stuff wants to turn into jello. It just just kind of, it's a little bit here and a little bit there, but I don't know. I figure if I keep writing, eventually it'll come back around,
Yeah.
Sure, it's process, it's movement of energy, man. If that's
Yeah.
all we do is keep it moving, then we're doing good.
That's
We're
right.
doing good.
It's just to get up in the morning.
Really.
Good.
I mean, as long as we keep it going, we're good and we don't get hung up in it and we're allowed to smile. And you crack me up, man. I told Val, I think she's my my spirit guide. You crack me up with your posts on Facebook. I'm like, I almost spit my coffee out the other day. I don't know what it was. I'm like, oh my God, you're hilarious. So I really
it
appreciate
was the
getting to meet
Melania
you.
light, Melania IKEA light. That was the one that did it.
Oh.
Light.
Mhm.
So
That was
Jen is a friend of mine on Facebook, and it's one of my things that I do post a lot of stuff on Facebook because I have a lot of friends. I'm a healer. I do acupressure and process healing and stuff. And so there's always stuff going on. A lot of people follow me for that. And so, I'm still creative, but I'm just not, the writing's just not going well right now. So anybody have any ideas to help me? I mean, I put pencil or pen to paper.
Mhm. Well, I went to a workshop that was just really fascinating and helpful, and I really liked the poem that I wrote from it. I just kept revising and revising and revising, but she said, start out. Just grab some old poems that you don't like and you just really felt like they weren't working. And then take like one line or one stanza out of each one and just, make a page of poetic lines and stanzas like that. They don't have to be on the same topic at all or anything. And so then we started with that. And then she would say things like, now look at this and make it like it was a dream. So it doesn't have to be realistic. Just put all these weird dream images in it. And then things like, okay, now add some colors here and there. And then like, okay, cross out the last 3 lines. And just all kinds of weird stuff to do with it. And then the next thing you know, you're looking at it and say, oh, I'm getting what this is trying to say to me. Yeah, so that can be really fun.
Yeah.
That sounds like play too. I mean, so you're not engaged trying to write something, you're just kind of messing around with stuff that's already come out. So yeah, that's great. That.
Valerie, do you speak or read any other languages?
French a bit,
Because I found that when I get stuck, I like to very much play as an amateur with translating something into English. And there's something about like coming at poetry through another language. Yeah, it kind of relieves the anxiety of creating something yourself, but you are creating in the sense that you are reworking another language into English. So you might think with playing with that, maybe that will entertain you some morning.
Actually, when you say that, it gave me an idea because I grew up in New York City and I spoke a lot different when I was growing up in New York City. I ought to write a New York City poem in the voice that I had when I was growing up, and see what came out.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be kind of interesting. So
Yeah.
I was gonna say, Valerie, too. Do you post every day? You write something on your Facebook every day?
I post something on Facebook. Sometimes it's original. Sometimes it's something from someone else. So there's always something posted, but it's not always something that I write. So.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say you're writing differently. It might be small writing, but you're engaging in some type of writing. So the first thought would be that you are writing. Might not be like the whole big something, but you are writing something. And even you might want to write about the Jello. Right? You said everything's turned into Jello.
Yeah.
Write about the Jello.
Yeah,
I thought that was a good question. The statement you made about the Jello. I said, "There's a poem there."
And it doesn't have to be long. There's a little something, but you are writing something. You're not doing anything.
Yeah. Help me feel less locked up. Yeah.
There's another thing that I do. Like the past year, I've written like probably 80% of my poems this way. And I learned this in a different workshop where you take a poem that you like, that somebody else wrote, and you write down the lines of it in random order. You might start with a line from the middle or whatever. So you get all the lines written down, but you have like 2 or 3 lines, blank lines in between. And then you write something that's inspired by the line above it. And it might be just you see one word in that line and it triggers something and you use that word in your line. Or it might even be an idea or a thought, or you use a synonym or one of the words that's in the line or whatever. So then you get all those I call it writing between the lines. So you get all those written down, and sometimes I get bored with that and say, don't do all of it. I save the rest for another day, but and then you go back and look at them and you find your lines that you like and the ones that seem to go together. And since they're kind of all inspired by the same poem, there probably you will find some that go together. And then you write them down in whatever order seems like it fits together and stuff. And it's tricky because I find sometimes in a poem that I think is finished, that I've written that way, I'm like, I look at it and I was like, this is my favorite stanza right here, but it doesn't belong in this poem. So I found that I have to take those out, even though there's sometimes my favorites. I'm like, okay, this goes in a different poem. Yeah, but that's like, you don't have to start with a blank page that way. So
yeah, Brenda, I love that, because I practice collage, and you just described making a verbal collage.
Yeah.
And then if there's a great image that you weren't able to use in that collage, you just put it aside, because that'll be a new one. Yeah.
Okay. I might try that with Arthur Z's poems.
Yeah. That would be a fun exercise.
That sounds like a good workshop to do, Brenda. Did you say you wanted to co-host one?
Oh yeah, I've done it a couple of, maybe 3 times at various places. I've done a workshop on that, and then I usually do talk about the golden shovel as well in the same workshop, just for fun. So
Well, it sounds like a fun one to do here if you're interested in doing it together. I mean, it would probably be November or December, but
yeah, that'd be fine.
But let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay.
That would be really fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep a line a day journal, a folder that I write lines in that, I don't know, I might be reading a novel and a line will jump out at me and I'll write it in the journal. And so I keep those, and I also go back to those often to see what I've missed. And I find, I do have a question for the group. Do any of you find yourself writing the same poem over and over?
Yes.
Because that's something, and I mean, maybe I'm using different words, different images, but I'll think, wait a minute, have I already written this poem? And I'll start looking, and it's like, yeah, about a dozen times. I'm glad to see all the head nodding. I was beginning to think I was
Are
the
you
one
not
writing
allowed
Tony.
to write it? But is that like not aloud? I mean, how does it, because it's all different words, but it's the same poem.
Well, it's not a problem. It's just something that I really began to notice um, as I'm writing, as I age. I mean, that's all I think about anymore, y'all. Sorry to be a downer, but it's like I just seem to always be writing about aging in one form or another. That's one piece, but also even things somebody mentioned, oh, it was you, the ex-husband piece, and I find him intruding into my poems all the time. And here I am writing about him again. I thought I was through with him. I haven't been married to him for 40 years, for God's sake.
I hear you.
It also has to do with your habits. If you go out in the morning and sit in your backyard and drink your coffee and write about the birds singing, I mean, it gets to be the same poem, seems like.
Well, that's true too. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Mm.
I did go through a time and I said every single poem that I wrote was a poem about birds. And it finally got to the point where it was like, okay, here's a poem that's not about birds. And all of a sudden it would be about birds. And I said, see?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a poem that starts, actually, that's the title. Instead of writing about politics, and then it starts out and all sorts of different things, kind of a list and all that and then it started to get dark and gloomy in the middle. I'm like, no, stop. And then I started back again with, roasting marshmallows or whatever. And yeah,
Right.
it ended up being a funny poem, but yeah.
Good.
You guys make me smile.
That's important.
See, feel how much better it feels. I don't know. I hope it's working for you guys too. Let's see, Cheryl, you've been a little bit quiet today.
Yeah, I had a bit of my body. Right before I came on, my hip came out of joint. So I'm just struggling with that a little bit, just even sitting in the chair here. So I'm being quiet. I'm a little distracted. That's what happens to me. I have a like a disease where your joints can fall out. So it
Yeah,
happens
most of us are
occasion.
not flexible, but she does too much and it comes out of socket.
Yes,
So you remember that.
instead of writing a poem, I decided to do a bit of the gardening in my backyard. And had I been writing a poem, I wouldn't be in so much pain right now. So there you go. I should have been writing a poem.
You just remember to be careful tomorrow at yoga.
Yeah, I will. I'll take it easy. But yeah, it happens on occasion. It's just my body. That's why I've been quiet. But one of the things I was thinking about when everybody was telling their stories, of course, your brain's running, was I was really productive every time I had a tragedy in my life. And so I thought, I should look back at those books, but they're all very dark. And what happened that Jen kind of knows is about approximately 10 years ago, I met a new guy, and the tragedy in my life really came to a halt because he's a great guy. And so I stopped writing. I had nothing to write about because I was just content and happy and busy with my full-time job, and that was my focus, and my animals and stuff. So this group has gotten me thinking about it again, and it's silly, really. I can write about good things, but I just my muse, so to speak, I guess, is when I'm heartbroken or tragedy strikes, and then I write to get that out. But I've been, as long as I'm somewhat peaceful or content, I just go about life, So this has been a good experience, and and kind of an awakening to start writing again.
Good. Yay.
Yeah, I just had a conversation with somebody the other day and they were talking about that too, about that the only time they write is when they're heartbroken or suffering or something like that. And I think for me, I'm coming at this through the therapy thinking to start with, but that's because the emotion is coming out regardless. It's going to come out. So it's coming out, and that's the form it takes. When everything's going good, we may not even take that time. But she started taking time to focus on the flower, the rose, to write about it, for making time to focus on this other stuff. So I think that might even be, that there's nowhere for it to go but to bust out of you when it's bad, when it's dark like that. Maybe when it's good, it's not screaming for as much attention,
Mhm.
Yeah,
I think obviously everybody has ups and downs. It's not like my life is perfect, but it just hasn't. I've had such major tragedies in the past that it seems a lot less, just the regular ups and downs of life. Yeah. So anyway, I like the idea of exploring a different way of writing.
So Celeste, thanks for coming. I think this is the first one you've been to, right?
Yeah,
Of
yeah,
the
this one, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is there anything in specific that you wanted to address?
No, I just wanted to come and listen and participate.
Cool. Thanks for doing that. Yeah, some of these ladies were present for that fairy tale writing workshop. That was Celeste.
Yeah.
Ah,
That was Celeste.
cool.
And T, same thing. Did you have anything specific that you wanted to address?
No, not at all. I'm so grateful for this kind of group. I don't have this kind of group anywhere else. I have workshops and um I have podcasts that I listen to, but I do not have a group where we can just hang out and talk about writing or whatever. This is really wonderful. Thank you for
Oh.
pulling this together.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks so much for supporting it. Thanks so much.
Mhm.
Thanks so much, all of you. Val, do you have anything that you wanted to specifically address or?
No, I kind of ran across this and said, oh, I wonder what this is. And so I had no idea really what I was signing up for. But it turned out, I wasn't sure I was going to be free. And I said, okay, so I, tuned in, here I am. It is nice. As T says, it's really nice just to hang with other people who write and have something in common. It's like it's like sitting down, having a cup of coffee in the afternoon. It's great.
Cool.
Yeah, and thank you. And as she said, thanks for putting something like this together. I mean, it's nice support because, as you say, it's our tribe. I mean, these are the people who we feel similar to, or we have some commonality with, but we're not always geographically in the same spot. So, I mean, this is really great. So nice.
No,
I see
I
some.
appreciate it. Yeah, thank you so much, all really for supporting it because, um, I'm in it, but and if y'all are showing up, I'm gonna show up. So so also I don't know if you saw, but there's a piece for poets open mic is gonna be a
Love.
new offering this month. Isn't that a cool idea?
I have it. I thought, I miss spoken
It's
word.
for peace, I think it is. Poets
Yes.
for peace.
Yeah. Spoken word that I did maybe it was twice a month in Sewanee. And I missed it. And I said, you're doing it. And I said, there's got to be an online spoken word. And that's what you're offering. And so I was so excited. You called, you had, that's what spoken word is, open night for Mike.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see, and hopefully people will come. you know, and then hopefully we could just keep it all going. But I really appreciate your support. Did anybody come specifically that didn't get anything addressed that they wanted to? I want to make sure that each and every time, if you come with something specifically that you'd like to address, that you get the opportunity, have the opportunity to do so. Anybody? All right, cool. Cool. Closing comments?
Well, I
How about we
had
do a closing
something.
comment?
Oh, no, this was just something funny. Everybody's talking about ex-husbands, and I met my husband that I'm married to now, and I'm very happy with, when I was 52. And I think one of the things I asked him when we were getting to know each other is sort of like, well, so what's your major dysfunction? And he goes, well, I don't think I have one. I said, really? You're probably not my type then. So, but also the last 14, 15 years have been my most productive with poetry, even though I've been happy. So sometimes it works differently.
I think he's fibbing. We all got something.
Yes.
If somebody says nothing, I'm gonna say, all right, you're not telling me the truth. See you later, buddy. I said, I'm out of here. I don't have any time for games anymore. It's truth or nothing.
Or stick with me and I'll point out your
There you
dysfunction.
go.
Yeah, right. Give me 5
Give me
minutes,
minutes.
man.
That's right.
There you go.
I think
Oh
it's
my
how you
goodness.
think about yourself.
Yeah.
Some people-
Yeah.
like I
Yeah.
always say, I don't care what others think about me. I like me, and
You know, it doesn't matter
love is
anyway.
always like that. I don't really care. You know, what
It
you think
doesn't
about
matter. I
me.
used to care so much about
Yeah,
that. I used to
we
care so
we make
much
so
about
many,
that.
yeah, we
People are
make so
gonna
many
hate you
changes.
anyway.
Yeah, we make so many changes because this one don't like this, or this one don't like this, or this one thinks this, or this one thinks, you know. So somebody asked me, what do you think about yourself? I said, I think I'm all that and 2 bags of flavored chips.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I like,
That's one
and I
of
like
the
my company.
aspects.
I
Yeah,
like my
that's a
company.
beautiful part of
I enjoy being
aging.
with myself.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
I
always,
love that.
my whole life. It's just, I
Oh,
like my
that's
company.
cool. I'm only there for the past few years. Finally liking myself. Seriously, it's been an uphill climb. But it's a beautiful thing to not have to really prove or worry about what anybody thinks anymore. It's a lot less, it's just so much easier not to have to keep up with anything either, it's and the whole thing, it's a vibrational thing anyway. We're either gonna vibe together or we're not. It's something. And when because I didn't start this journey till I was at 52 and completely out of shape. And I was trying to get my first gym instructor uh certification thing to lead a group at the gym. And I was trying and trying and trying, and I could not get it. I just like, I can't, and we got to know when we realize our own limitation kind of thing. But anyway, I looked at I told my boyfriend that. I said, look, I just don't think I could do it. And even if I could, who's going to come to my class anyway? Because, I'm overweight. I can't really do the stuff. And he looked at me and said, Jen, they would hate you if you're too skinny. And I'm
Right.
like, there's going to be people to hate you anyway. And I'm like, well, I knew it was true because, well, I've lost 80 pounds in all this whole process of loving myself. Because I used to like look at this little bouncy instructor that was there with that same kind of little bit of attitude, so I knew it was true. But anyway, and it just, and the funny thing is, I got the certification on my first try. But do you know how to packed class? I mean, it was packed with people that couldn't do things perfectly, and they brought their husbands because it was a comfortable, safe environment, you know. And some of the it was really kind of funny because some of these guys were like kind of, rigid and, they haven't done anything like this before. But it was such a cool thing. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's all based on what other people's perceptions are, and their perceptions based on whatever whack stuff they've been through. So what does it all matter?
Your perceptions aren't your reality.
That's right.
No way, man.
That's it. Yeah. Human beings are
So-
very fickle and wishy-washy.
It's so interesting. If you can, I'd be honored to have your voice, your poem about peace. October 1st is the deadline, but I mean, there's some good stuff in there. I'm surprised myself. And then tomorrow, if you're available, Maya Stein will be talking about revision with us. Yeah, that should be. I'm excited about that one. And then, yeah, the open mic, Poets for Peace, is this month also.
Is it
So
this month or it's October?
no, Poets for Peace is. Oh no, you're right. It's October. You're right. Hold on, let me just see here. Yeah, tomorrow is Maya Stein, but you're right, it's October 15th. It's actually the same time slot as this
Yes.
on a Wednesday, because on this way it's like I got that every 2 weeks, and then the 2 weeks later it'll be this again. So,
Okay.
but yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the great conversation, you guys.
Thank you. Go let people love on me today. Today's my birthday, so everybody wants to love on me.
Happy
Oh my
birthday.
goodness, happy birthday.
Thank you. So they all want to
Yeah.
do something, so I gotta let them do something. So
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Remember Patty's? Yeah, I think that's interesting. This is our third conversation like this, and the first one, I think it was Patty's birthday, Patty Joy's birthday. You spent with us on your birthday too. Anyway, that's so
You
fun.
want us to
That's so
sing you
fun.
happy birthday?
oh
Yes.
no, it's
Happy
okay.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy
Happy
Birthday
birthday
to
to
you.
to
you.
you.
Happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday,
darling.
darling.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to
to you.
you.
And many more.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, everyone. Stay
Thank
safe,
you
stay
all.
well.
Have a good day.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.